then he comes in, gets comfortable, right? Makes that abode to you. He tells you more. The Lord with you. He puts you on a further level. You see what I'm saying? And then what happens? That's when it gets to those points you were saying. You got it?
Yeah.
Whatever you're going to go say.
If I can't, before I said that.
And then you like, oh, you like, really?
Yeah.
You know?
You start cleaning up. You know what I'm saying?
Another thing too, you might fall asleep talking to him. He might put you under a trance. You just fall asleep, and he just sitting there looking at you, and you having visions while you sleep. Because that's what's happening while we sleeping and living our lives. The Lord's still abiding. And remember, it says, "Whoso watches for Israel don't sleep."
Right.
So the Lord watching you when you sleep. The angels watching you when you sleep. And guess what? What happens when you sleep? You get visions and dreams, but they being sent to you by the one that's literally has came in unto you and abode with you.
Exactly.
The one that's sitting there talking to you. You can't even stay up. The Lord conversating with you, you gotta go to sleep. And he still comes, he's like, you know what? Perfect, I'm gonna give him the vision now. And then you wake up and the Lord's talking to you again. That's how it is for a man of the Lord. It never stops. The Lord's always talking to us. He said in John 4, it's gonna be as basically
water overflowing.
Yeah, well of water overflowing unto everlasting life. It's just gonna keep running, man. He said, David said, my cup runneth over.
Exactly.
You got it.
Like I say, it's like he's sealing that instruction into your mind, so it's day by day. You constantly in and out. That's always what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know?
Whole time he in you. It's like whole time just visualize this. Somebody in your house, YAHAWASHI, however you picture them. They got the garments on, all of that, and they like, yeah, close the shades. It's for everybody. And then it's just this forever long conversation. But when it's no longer a conversation, you probably sleep. And then when you do get back up, he's still in the house and he like, no, put this on. You see what I'm saying? And then like basically everything you think you doing outside, matter if it's you going to chill with it, no matter if it's you going to chill with a chick, going to grocery shop, going to work, it's all happening in the house amongst him. So he's sitting on the couch there watching you do that. He like, nah, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And you think that all this, you get what I'm saying? It's like like, man, if I could like put the shit in the visual to you, it'd be crazy. You know, it's vivid right now. You got it. Cause ain't shit going on but this, man. When did the Lord leave the house? When did the conversation end? It don't.
Exactly.
With him doing that, you like further fortifying your house with him being there, you know? So to where when you get to the point to where when those floods, the rain, you know what I'm saying, all this in, you not moved any kind of way, you know? Like whatever else knock, it ain't gonna be able to budge because he that defense, you know? He the what is it? He the home security, you know?
Shalom. I want to start this off by giving all the praise and glory to YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Peace and salutations to the elect of Israel, starting with the elder apostles of GMSR down to the rest of you brothers and the brothers I labor with, who all push forth the will and doctrine of YAHAWASHI in all faith, truth, and sincerity, according to the true understanding of the scriptures. To all of you, I say Shalom. So this is a quick lesson through the spirit, you know. The Lord woke me up, you know, just like seeing it clearly and vividly, you know. He was just like, do it. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Speak on it real quick, you know. It's one of them early joints, you know, but it's beautiful how the Lord was just showing it to me, you know, and I just wanted to hit this specific point, right? When the Lord come in onto you, right? And you've now taken the initiative because you diligently searching, right? You diligently searching and meditating and taking in what it is that the Lord is giving you because you opened that door, right, where he came in onto you, right? Now you in a position to where you could truly count the cost, right? And with you truly counting the cost, now you in position to always be fortifying yourself even more, you know? And that's what the Lord showed me, you know, which is what's here in Luke 14. You know, I'm gonna read this real quick first. Luke 14 and verse 28. It says, "For which of you intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it." You see, which of you intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost. You see, and so with the Lord being in that position, right, where He now supping with us, you know, right, we've made our temple clean and holy and a inhabitable space, you know, for Him and wisdom, you know, the Holy Spirit to be able to dwell in, you know, sup with, right? You know, it's basically it's like how the brother said, like whenever whatever you doing, you know what I'm saying, like YAHAWASHI don't never leave, you know what I'm saying. So you had the moments where it's like you having two or three gathered, you know what I'm saying, together with you, if you will, through the Spirit guiding you, which is you having that Holy Spirit and wisdom with you, you know what I'm saying, supper with you with YAHAWASHI, all within your house, you know. To where it's just a further conversation to where you able to fortify yourself, because we fortifying ourselves in a way to where we able to withstand our enemy, you know. We counting the cost to where ain't no enemy gonna be able to have, you know, the upper hand against us, because we have the ultimate security, you know, being YAHAWASHI. Right, so I'm gonna read this, Revelation 3:20. It says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me." You know, and this was one of the main scriptures that we was bringing out last night on the highways, right? And it's so manifold for real, you know. And that's we was kind of going into, you know, different parts of this two-edged sword, you know, where it's a manifold, you know what I'm saying, word, a manifold scripture, to where you able to see more of how this really manifests, you know. Like the Lord completely with those men, you know. Lord wanted to be us, but specifically those men that are opening that door, you know, those that are actively seeking His wisdom, His knowledge, and His understanding, and actually looking to retain it and use it for righteousness' sake, you know. Like I did a lesson the other day about Solomon, right, when he had asked for the Lord's wisdom and knowledge. That was a moment of that, you know, if you will, because it was a moment where he prayed, right. He gave what, it was like 1,000 sacrifices, you know, offerings. If you I believe it said 1,000 offerings before, you know, he prayed, you know, and was talking to the Lord, you know. Now that's a moment where they supping together, and you know, and this, what's beautiful about this is Solomon was YAHAWASHI, you know. So it's like you able to see the full circleness of, you know, you're able to see the full circle and the alignment, you know, of how he deal, you know, of what his spirit really got going on, right? Like you able to see in that moment he supping with the Lord, counting the cost, right? As it say here, he counting the cost because he understand, like, okay, this is a multitude of a people, right? And Second Chronicles, the first chapter, started at the, like, you know, 6th or 7th verse, right? You know, just get it real quick so brothers can see it. Yeah. Yeah, kind of. 1 Corinthians 6, 1 Corinthians 1:6, Second Chronicles 1:6. It says, and Solomon went up thither to the brazen altar before the Lord, which was at the tabernacle of the congregation, and offered 1,000 burnt offerings unto it. You see? And that's beautiful because, us doing these lessons, us supping together, us being in the spirit, this is us making those spiritual offerings, those spiritual sacrifices. We keeping our foot when we go to the house of the Lord. We not being fools and just giving any willy-nilly type of sacrifice or offering. We actually in a position to where the Lord with us, something with us, and we looking to make and give those offers and sacrifices that'll please Him, right? We now in a position to where we can be laborers together with Him, because we're now supping with one another. It's just so beautiful. It's like the Lord just connected all the dots. The last previous few lessons that I did, they're all some shape, some way, shape, form, or fashion, congruent with one another. And this is it's like another aspect of it, another piece of it. So it's just beautiful to be able to see what it is He's showing. But it says, verse 7, in that night did God appear unto Solomon and said unto him, Ask what I shall give thee. Right? And I know right here, it say right here at the top, Solomon's prayer for wisdom. Right? Above verse 8. And it says, and Solomon said unto God, Thou hast shewed great mercy unto David my father, and hast made me to reign in his stead. Now, O Lord God, let thy promise unto David my father be established. For thou hast made me king over a people like the dust of the earth in multitude. You see, we like the sand of the sea. We can't be numbered. This is a great people, right? This is a moment where Solomon now is counting the cards. He in position to where he obtaining the Lord's wisdom to be able to see things clearly, see things in a way that's going to help, save his soul, save his life, right? It says, give me now wisdom and knowledge that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this thy people that it is so great? You see? This is where his mind was at. He counting the cards, right? Because that's what you can see within this example here, right? Luke 14:28. For which of you intending to build a tower, sit not down first and count the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it. It says, I'm thinking of 31, but I'm going to read through. It says, less happily, after he had laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. You see, there's those that just get to trying to take the word and then just get to fucking talking, right? Like these goofy mugs, in Genesis, you know what I'm saying, Hassad and Hakah, right? Like there ain't no real pure spirit and intent there, right? They going to hell to fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody counting the cost. Ain't nobody actually something paying attention, right? With they're not actively looking to receive the Lord's word for righteousness' sake. So they're not even in position to be supping with the Lord because the Lord's not with them, And that's when they now in a position to be getting mocked, which is exactly what you've been seeing. You know what I'm saying with them. But that's not even a point. It's just an example. Continuing, it says, saying this man being this saying this man began to build, it was not able to finish. It says verse 31, or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. You see? This is that consideration, understanding like what it is that you're dealing with, right? And what state, manner of, you know what I'm saying, of thinking or positioning, knowledge, preparation you need to be able to deal with this and be successful at the end of it. You know, everything we do, right? Like how the brother was saying, the brother Pada, right? The brother Sharia Pada, right? What he was saying, in regards to Yahawashi always being there, always helping with you, never leaving. It's all within that house, that little sanctuary, that tent, right? You in position to where you furthering that consideration to count the cost, right? So much to the point to where once you get here in Matthew 7, right, and verse 24, it says, therefore whoso heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. You see? That hearing, you in a position to where you've opened that door and you listening to the Lord's voice, what it say in Revelation 3:20, right? It says, behold, I stand at the door and knock, if any man hear my voice and open the door. You see? So we listening to the sayings of Yahawashi, right? Yahawashi, right? It's the Most High's doctrine, his ordinance, right? That we able to receive through Yahawashi, right? Who was the wisest man to have ever lived, Because this all wisdom that we seeing, this all wisdom that we able to sit and think upon, right? And in our minds, he give us visions. In our dreams, he give us visions to be able to see these things clearly. So it's a continuation over and over and over again, And that was what was so beautiful. The message last night was just beautiful, It was just clear, the Lord was really present, Everything that happened, whoever came up, however, Jay or Esau, like everything was just completely aligned with the spirit. But we was not, we wasn't moved. Couldn't nothing move us, Any and everything that came up, couldn't nothing move us. Right? It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them. You see? Because you got people that are just hearers of the word, but are they doing it? Are they actually taking it in and internalizing it in a way to where they carefully taking thought of how to be able to use this wisdom? How can they apply this within their daily walk? Like, we were given the wisdom to actually do something with it, That was something that the brother had brought out. And the scripture that I was holding on to, too, was this. Sirach 20 and verse 30. It says, wisdom that is hid and treasure that is hoarded up, what profit is in them both? Better is he that hideth his folly than a man that hideth his wisdom. You see? So that wisdom is supposed to come out. That wisdom, you're not supposed to sit on wisdom and take her for granted. You know, there ain't gonna be no profit in you just tucking it. You know what I'm saying? Putting it in a napkin and burying it. You know, not flipping it, not looking to increase the value, right? It ain't for everybody. So if you in position for her to be supping with you, you know, that's a blessing that you don't want to neglect, take for granted, you know. That's what's so beautiful about this. So it was just something that the Lord just showed me clearly, right? When you listen to the Lord word, you open that door where He able to actually come in and dwell with you and sup with you, right? That's you now being in position to be able to count the cost, right? You fortifying yourself so much to the point to where when things get heated, when things get tough, when you in times of trouble, you're not gonna be moved. Why? Because it says this, Matthew 7:24. Therefore, whoso heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken. You see, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. You see, you're built upon that rock, right? And with you being built upon this rock, what come of it? Verse 25, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And that rock is YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI. You see? And how we know that too? Isaiah 26:4. Right? Let me see. Yep. Matthew 26:4 in the NLT says, trust in the Lord always, for the Lord Yahweh is the eternal rock. You see? That everlasting strength, that eternal rock. So that rock ain't never moving. That rock is always existing, right? And you put your trust in Him, right? I'm going to start up. It says in the KJV, Isaiah 26:3, thou will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. Come on, man. That's call him like y'all bust your mouth shot, bro. You know? With your mind stayed on Him, He's always with you. He's always there, you know? Because He trusted in thee, you trusted in Him, you know? You ain't want to try to do those shit on your own and try to do it your own way. Fuck that. We already understand, man's mind is desperately fucking wicked. That's why we hold on to the Lord's word, not our own. Right? His thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are higher than ours. So it only make the most sense possible with Him being the potter and us being the clay. We need to go Slakia. We need to go about things in His way, plain and simple. Simple as that, simply put, right? And we not gonna be moved, right? And it's all for the betterment, nonetheless. Cause with us doing that, right? Sirach 2 and 5. I'm gonna start at verse 3, read through. And this one was when we read as well. I'm gonna start at 2. Sirach 2 and 2, it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. The way we constantly endure is kind of that cost, supping with the Lord, holding on to the wisdom that He gives to us, because it's for our salvation, it's for our betterment. It's to keep us in position to receive that salvation at the end of it. At the end of it all, at the end all be all, right? When He come back, when the Lord vengeance hitting this place in a whole different way, It says, and make not haste in time of trouble. You having Him being fortified with Him, you're not gonna be moved in those times of trouble. The rain, the floods, and the winds, being upon that house, you're not moving. Verse 3, it says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. You see? Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Why are you taking it cheerfully? Because you know what it's supposed to do for you. It says, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You see? We understand what it say here, right? Hebrews 12 and 11, I think it is. Yep. Hebrews 12 and 11. Now, no chastening for the present seeming to be joyous, you know? So the moments that you in trouble, in times of trouble, the moments where, you know what I'm saying, shit uncomfortable, you in a heated situation, you know? Right? You having your faith completely tested. You know, you in a moment where you like Job getting chastised crazy. But again, it's all for what purpose? To prove that you with the Lord. You know, prove the Lord really with you. So it may not seem joyous in the moment, but what? But grievous. It says, nevertheless, this is the point. Afterward, it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. You see? That peaceable fruit is going to be that salvation. You being made that gold, you know? The highest of high level of gold, you know? Completely valuable. No impurities, because it's all been burnt away. You're not mixed with nothing else. You know what I'm saying? You completely one with YAHAWASHI, and that's the point, right? That's the point. So, Lord willing, this has been edifying. You know, it's meant to be quick. You know, Lord willing, this is exhorting to those that's listening. So with that, I'm going to give honor, praise, and glory to Yahawah, by YAHAWASHI, Wahawa Kakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.